Hi. Can you hear me? Can't hear you.
I'm going to use this one to talk to him.
Hello,
Hi. Oh my
very good
God.
evening.
Oh, hi. Uh,
So
this is what
finally
is the
connected.
call. Finally, finally.
Oh,
Can you see me? Can you hear me?
obviously, I can see you. I can hear you very audible.
Oh my God, that was
So
like
how's
something.
US? How is US now?
US is great. I think we are handling the COVID pretty good. Not bad, I think. I've been here two
Oh,
weeks now,
that's so nice. That's so
and
nice.
yeah, we're doing good in California. A lot of testing going on. People are following precautions, so it's pretty good.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
That's so nice. All right. Okay. So very good evening to everyone who have been here. And I don't think like any introduction is required for Reema, since everyone knows it. So let me like get into the show. Yes, Reema. So, since we are getting into a new topic and a new episode, which is called Mentor
Yeah.
Talk. So, this particular concept is only to mentor the people through experts in particular industry. Since we are dealing with different spectrums, experts from each and every spectrum to be on live and talk about different things and aspects, facts and facts, so that the aspiring people gets mentored in the right direction. All right. So from you, we like let people get to hear that what exactly the topic we're gonna discuss about.
So today, I would like to cover as to what we will be bringing on to the table when we, mentor or when I mentor my clients or my students, as I call it, and what will be the topics or what will we go through and why is it so essential in today's times is, what I would like to brush past on. So,
Okay. So when we talk about it, like what do you call the grooming and personality development. All right. So what exactly is grooming? What is grooming
okay.
first of all? Because so many people talk about grooming without even knowing the basics of grooming. So I want people to understand what is grooming and then like segments of grooming. All right.
Okay.
So just brief us what is about
Sure.
grooming.
Thank you. That's a very good question because I don't get that a lot. So this is great. So now let me just go backtrack a little bit. So even though I am a model and a personality coach, as I call it, I am also a physical therapist. So I come from a healthcare background and I am a practicing physical therapist. And with that, what we deal with is also a lot of body mechanics and how people can take care of themselves. Um, so what happens with grooming is exactly, so if I have to go into like the personal grooming aspect of it, the personal grooming is really simple, basic to maintain yourself. And now maintaining yourself doesn't mean just like dressing yourself and, look pretty. No, but it is also how you follow your daily hygiene. Actually, it comes to that. So when you talk about like personal grooming, because not in this busy life, not all of us are really, watching it because we're so busy. Everyone's like rushing door to door, for work and doing their daily chores. So this is very important to kind of press upon the importance of grooming, and what it comes from is just the basic, with basic hygiene and basic maintenance of yourself. Now that includes, of course, exercise and all, keeping your nails kempt and your hair well, just your basic presentation when you come across someone is the actual crux of grooming. And then of course there's more layers to it as we go forward, depending on where you're going. Like you're going for an interview, you're going for some pageant, or you're just going out there socializing. So then there's different layers to it, but the crux of grooming comes from like the basic hygiene and presentation of a person. So that's what would be the highlight of how we go ahead.
That's so nice hearing from you, because like people need to know what exactly they are getting into. All right, we have been seeing like witnessing too many pageants happening, all right, where they call like grooming. Like, what is grooming first of all? So they need to understand the basics, where to how to get groomed, for what purpose, and what reason, what occasion they are. And being a pageant, like a beauty pageant queen or a contestant, getting groomed for a pageant is entirely different from like getting groomed for an interview. All right. So what makes the difference? So what are the different like segments of grooming?
Okay, so that's again a very good question. So again, because the audience, now let's go back to that, the audience is going to be different, so when I go to a pageant, or if a candidate is going to a pageant, he or she is going to walk the ramp. So of course, that there are judges, like from ahead that yes, the moment you step into, now let's go off track a little bit. When you go on or to a pageant, or participate in a pageant, of course you are being judged. You are being judged right the moment you enter. So you know it when you register yourself for the pageant. You know that, oh my God, I am going to be judged. So of course, and then you have this whole audience right there in front of you when you're on the ramp. So like all eyes on you for that moment. So of course that grooming is very different. It entails the walk, your posture, your confidence in answering the question, even introducing yourself, because so many times, people ask you, and it's a very common question. Okay, tell us a little bit about yourself. Ooh, oh my God, that question just throws off some people like this. It's like, oh my God, myself. There's so much to say, but still people get like conscious, like myself, oh my God, I have to say all this in front of so many people. So that's where the pageant grooming is different versus the interview. Okay, you're going for an software engineer position, or a physical therapist interview, or you're just going for a caregiver interview, or or a teacher interview. So you kind of anticipate, okay, this is my skill set, and these are my questions that I am expecting. And the audience is probably a panel of interviewers, just like maybe one or two. So that's why that's the difference. Hello? Did I lose you?
All right.
Sorry, I think I lost
So I'm back.
Okay.
That's fine. That's fine. I think there must be some disturbance in the network, I guess. So it is disturbing.
Mm-hmm.
Might be like India and
I know.
America, doesn't have a very good tech today.
So
I
does
got to
that
know
answer
that
your
like
question?
today in the White House, yeah, of course, today like in White House, I got to know that there was a suspect letter, which came to the White House, which was addressed for the president.
Okay.
Did you get the notice? Yeah, that was a
No, actually,
suspectful
it's just 8
letter which
a.m.
came, and the defense force,
Uh-huh.
the defense people have taken it, and they are, making a research, they're into a research from where it came.
Okay.
It was a threat for like the president. It was a threat.
Oh, Mr. Trump? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So I
Well,
think, that threat, like is disturbing the network between you and me now.
yes, there is that where you're going? Yes, possible. Because we know Modi and Trump are really good friends, right? So I guess the internet should be. Oh, thank God. Okay.
All right. So, since you have described, like the different forms of like the grooming senses. So now I want to get in little deeper into it. Little deeper into it. What exactly is a personal grooming?
Okay. So again, coming back, so I did answer a little bit about what grooming is. So personal grooming is where one-on-one training is provided, or one-on-one coaching is provided for the person to, first of all, before we do any or delve into any training, it is very essential to make the person or the individual aware. So education, awareness, and knowledge, those are the three things I think are very important for any coaching, because unless the person or the candidate is not aware that, okay, this something like this exists, okay, like personal grooming, as you said, some people are not aware that, oh, there is something like this, so it exists. So we got to make the person aware, the individual who's going to be coached, okay, this is something. And then of course describe everything, what all it's going to entail or comprise of. And then of course, as I said, personal grooming entails, after he's got, or he or she has got the knowledge and the education, and then we go ahead with how to take care of each aspect of the personal grooming. So for example, it also comes with the speech, how to modulate your voice when you're speaking to different individuals. So like sometimes, we have, just an example, sometimes we have this thing where someone asks you, okay, so what is your name? And I say, Reema Kanolkar. And I'm like, okay, so am I asking a question or am I saying Reema Kanolkar? Because that's like, okay, I'm Reema Kanolkar versus Reema Kanolkar. So like, oh, so you're not sure of yourself? Are you Reema Kanolkar? Those little things we
Exactly.
mostly overlook, oversee. And these are the things where and a lot of people do have them. It's just that they're not aware that they have them. So as a personal groomer, I think it's my onus that I come up and, kind of fine tune it if they have it. And if they do not, then of course, bring them on to speed with it.
Oh,
So
that's so nice. That's so nice. So, when we talk about like personal grooming, like what is professional grooming?
So professional grooming is, and how I do it is depending on what are the needs of the individual. So if, for example, it doesn't have to be necessarily pageant grooming, because I know a lot of women nowadays, married or not, are into pageants, and which is an awesome platform, I think, because somewhere down the line, after taking care of your families and all that, you kind of lose that little confidence, to be out there in the world. And I think pageant platforms do give you that confidence back. They at least give you the opportunity. Now what you make of it is up
Actually,
to each
beauty,
individual.
beauty pageants have become a very good empowering tool for women,
Yes,
isn't it?
yes. And I think each and every woman, if possible, of course, should, make or take advantage of it if possible, of course. But it's a great tool. And then, of course, there are all these other tools. And one of them is, all this coaching that we have. And when you come to professional grooming is, again, now sometimes what happens is just a simple example, people are out of workforce for maybe taking care of their children, or just taking care of families, or they just didn't want to work for a few years. Now getting back into the workforce, of course they know their skill set, okay, they know what they were doing, they're an IT professional or a doctor, of course they know that, because that's not going away. But what goes away is, because you have that like time lag or time lapse in between, they somewhere fall behind, or they think they have fallen behind the audience, or the people that are up to speed or those who are currently working. So what happens is there's maybe a little drop in the confidence. And then, so as professional grooming, now suppose if I know someone comes to me and says, hey, I want to get back into workforce and I just, feel like I'm not there yet. I just need some fine tuning. I know my skill set. Of course, if someone's going to ask me or interview me with any IT questions or any of my job questions, I can do that. But it's just I'm lacking in confidence, how to speak up with the interviewers. Then that's where I come into picture. So giving them little training on their speech, on confidence, how to build up that confidence, because we're even just standing in front of one person, the interviewer could be one person, but just to speak up and share your knowledge to them is also something that not all of them may be able to do after a time lapse. So professional grooming, and then of course I will not be able to groom them on their IT background if they're asking me, but yes, I can give them resources to that. But when it comes to how to present themselves at the interview so that they make half of it through, because once you have the confidence, I am very sure and I'm absolutely positive, because I'm an excellent example of it, you can get through anything, So
That's so nice. That's so nice. It'll be like, it's kind of another thing, which can, inculcate into somebody's age. The confidence has to come from within. It's not
yes,
something, which others give you.
yes.
All right.
And I
Only,
think it
like
comes
guidance you can give.
right. And I think it comes from not only knowing your subject matter, so like not only knowing you have to prep up, but it also comes from, being prepped up otherwise. Because sometimes when you just go like shabby somewhere, then I'm not saying that just looks is everything, but just to make yourself or to present yourself nicely gives the other person a good, a feel about yourself or about oneself. So I think that really matters.
Well, like when we talk about it, like personal grooming and professional grooming, like personal grooming, like corporate grooming, like there are different segments, where you want to present, right? It depends on the place where you present is how you need to, prepare yourself. So that is what, exactly grooming is. All right. So now, like the question is, since, you mentioned, like I want to make it, a little more, precise. For example, for a woman, like who works in a corporate for a period of time, who's so active, so smart enough. All right. So due to the situations like, personal situations like, she get married and she get pregnancy, she become a mother for a period of time, like she's completely away, all right, from the routine where she was. And now like when she's supposed to get back, come back to the, the corporates, the very big thing, which I find in Indian women, particularly in Indian women, I would say, the thing is that like they don't have the confidence to give a comeback. So for those people, what will be the advice from Reema? How should they prepare themselves to give a comeback?
Okay. So that's, again, as I said, thank you for asking me that question. That's a very good question. And I do see that a lot. And it's
There
not
are 1,000
only,
women, like asking you the question, not me. There are 1,000 women asking you the
oh, I'm here to help. I mean, it's an absolute pleasure to help. And of course, if someone approaches me, I'll be more than happy to. So here, the first thing is there a will? Like, do they really want to come out of their shells, right? Now, that's a question they need to ask themselves. Like, okay, do I really want to do it? Because once you get into that family life, and which is awesome, okay, there's nothing against it, but then you start getting very comfortable with your routine, you get comfortable in your own self, and then you're there, sometimes life just gets on, and years go by, and then you're like, oh my god, what have I done with myself? I mean, you look at your old picture and this is used to be me, and now look at me, what's become of me, right? So um that's when you have to ask yourself, am I ready for the next step? Like, really, do I want to go out there and see a better version of myself, or see a better me? Or do I want to challenge myself and try something different? Maybe try something entrepreneurial, or just go out there and contest in a beauty pageant or just go apply for a job. It could be just anything. But first of all, the first thing you need to have is if I want to do it. And why do I want to do it? First is if I want to do it, yes. Now, why do I want to do it? Do I want to prove myself? Or do I want to prove it to my husband? Or do I want to prove it to my kids that their mom is like a super mom? And no, but it has to come from within. And I think every woman should go for it because we all do. I also, I had a very tough journey, and I know my friends who probably, some of them who are watching, know
You've
what
been
I've been through.
with a lovely family, of course. A
Sorry?
lovely supportive family, of course. Isn't
Yes,
that?
yes. So, it really depends. And then at some point in time, you really want to come out of your comfort zone, challenge yourself a little bit. And that's always been my vision, is to, create an impact in such a way that I can inspire and empower other women or just individuals, not only sticking to women, because even some men may want to just come out of their comfort zone. They put on a lot of weight, they want to get in shape, just look good. And it's not for
Yeah.
others, it's for yourself. I just want to look good for myself. I want to feel good, because when you look good, automatically, you just start feeling good and you love yourself, and then you're ready to take on, and there's a bounce in your step. So I think that's my advice to women, that yes, ask yourself, and if the answer is yes from within, go ahead, get help. Whoever it is, doesn't have to be me, but whoever it is, just get help. Like, hey, I want to do this, and yeah, go for it, because sky's the limit. Honestly, there's so much you can do, and there really is not as much as what we are doing. So
So nice, so nice. So now hearing this kind of like words will literally like create a change in every people's, whoever watch this. I'm so very sure. Now we're like, I want to know, Key, like, what are all the, like activities you do to promote, to support these kind of grooming sessions?
okay, so I do, and before, the COVID situation, so I do one-on-one training, one-on-one coaching, so like in person. Now, of course, due to geographical, situations, we can't always do one-on-one. So now there is live, or there's, online coaching. So there's Zoom sessions. So of course I do that. And if any corporates are interested. Now, there's one more thing I do want to add, and I do like to add, is since I come from a healthcare background, so I'm not just a model who's just contested in a beauty pageant and is out there teaching, pageant grooming or just grooming. No, I come from a healthcare background. I've been a practicing physical therapist for 16 years now, and of course, 14 years of that has been in the United States of America. So, coming from a healthcare background brings with me a lot of education about the human body. So, the anatomy, the physiology, how the body works, how its postures should be, what is the right posture, what is the wrong posture, what is the right gait. Now, gait here again is how to walk. I'm
So,
not just talking
sorry
about.
to interrupt you. Sorry to interrupt you. Since you have mentioned, like I got one more question, like from your content actually. When you mentioned, like right posture and wrong posture. All
Mhm.
right. So wherever we go for a grooming session, like we have, we commonly hear, here get to be trained about good postures. Sit like
Mhm.
this. Be confident. Eye
Yes.
contacts. All these things.
Yes.
All these things.
Yes.
They used to train. But nobody, like train us about. Nobody, no, even tell us about wrong postures. How not to do it. All
Yes.
right. So these things, must be taught or trained or like to be provided to each and everyone when we teach about like what to do, what not also to be taught. So this is how I always like prefer. So what kind of like structure or do you have?
Okay. So
How
that's
many
what I.
days is the course? How many days is the course? Like, how do you train people? And what should the people, do? How many
Okay.
hours a day, they should spend?
Okay. So again, now I'll just cut my story short. So with the ergonomics. So there's something called ergonomics. So which means, again, as you were talking about the right and the wrong postures, right? So it is about, because that's a very important aspect. Doesn't matter whether you're going for a pageant or you're going just to an interview or you're just interacting with people. If you are just standing like this, it gives a very bad impression. But if you have this, now it's not just about standing like this and with your, shoulders braced. It is wide. And if you do not do, is the actual question. Now, coming back to your question as to how many days, first, how I do it, I have a process. So when someone approaches me and say, hey, Reema, I want this. Okay. First, I collect their requirements. So what is it what is your goal? So I will evaluate them, which means an assessment. Okay. So I'm going to assess them just as per what are your requirements? Okay. Someone says, I'm just giving an example. I'm going to, I want to contest in a pageant. Fine, good. So what are you looking at? Of course, I want to hear the answer. I want to win, right? I mean, that shows that, okay, that guy or gal is all gung-ho about it. Right. Then I do the evaluation. Okay, now what's right in this person? What's wrong? Because just to train the person on a catwalk is super easy for me because I've done, I've walked the ramp several times. But what is tough is to actually see the normal walking, or as we call it, gait. So the normal walking of the person, if that itself is affected, then it's going to take a while to train to bring that person up to mark with the correct walking, to tell her what is wrong in her gait or his gait, correct it, and then add on. So again, there's like layers that we'll have to train. So it depends on the individual, of course, what requirements, and then depends on what is lacking. I wouldn't say lacking is the exact, but what are the deficits is the right word I would probably use. And then work on the person, and then probably about seven days or 10 days, depending. Again, it's not, because my programs are tailor-made. It's not generic. It's not like 20 people on the class and be like, okay, boom, boom, boom. And even if I have now, because now these are COVID times, to do a Zoom class, maybe like 8 to 10 people, and then someone who needs extra help, I'm out there to go, beyond class. You can reach me through emails or, WhatsApp me or something. And hey, I have a question off class, and then I'll be more than happy to answer it.
You mean to say, like, other than group classes, personalized classes are available?
Personalized and group, yes. Yeah. I mean, definitely personalized is always preferred, because it's that one-on-one attention is always to do. Does amazing. Yes, does amazing. But group,
also, like, when it comes to grooming, like, it should be personalized.
Yes.
So that's why,
but again,
people feel more confident in themselves.
Right. But when I go as a groomer for a pageant, it's not always possible because you have like 3 or 4 days, and you have to do the runs and as many as possible and get them up to speed. Not all of them are very experienced. So it's very challenging, but I love doing that. So anytime, and I love coaching. So I'm very passionate about it.
All right. So, like, one thing, which I want to ask you is that, like, now you be in, like, USA, and a person from, India, or a person from Philippines, or a person from Germany, if they want to establish a business, being an entrepreneur, they want to become an entrepreneur in this particular spectrum. All right. So if they approach you, what kind of support they can expect from you, and what kind of infrastructure they should have to start your classes?
Okay. So
not immediately, maybe in a week's time or a month's time, if somebody approach you.
No, they can approach me anytime, and I'm always there to lend a hand. I would love to walk them, just holding their hand. Absolutely. So the thing is, I think to take it up as a business and to actually do something entrepreneurial about it, first of all, as I said, and any seed of entrepreneurship starts with a why. Like, why do I want it? And first of all, do I really want to do this? Because then, because coaching is not for everybody. You really have to be passionate about dealing with people. You have to be patient, because not one individual is same as the other. you know, A and B cannot be the same. So whatever time you take with A, maybe B is going to need twice the time. You have to have your patience. You have to, you know, just keep calm and get it through the person. Sometimes it's hitting the wall, but what do? You know, that's your, and you want to do the best for him. You want to see him or her succeed. So I would say if one wants to take it entrepreneurially, my suggestion or my recommendation would be first, this, why you want to do this. You know, like for me, I want to create an impact. It's always been my vision that I want to create an impact. I want to inspire, empower, I think would be the right word also, to empower the people around me, to you know, to challenge themselves. So if you really are interested in this, then the best thing you can get is from your experience. Now, see, I have done quite a few pageants. I have quite a few pageants, and of course, I've walked the ramp. I've done a lot of shows, and that's where, you know, I knew like, oh my God, this is what I want to do. I want to train other women or men who want to do the pageant. And then, you know, it's kind of started to grow. And okay, why just pageant? Why do I want to just limit myself to pageant grooming? There's people who really want to see better versions of themselves. There are people who need help with maybe confidence, or people who need help with, you know, just how to speak up. So there's help for all of that. And I think the basic is, if you have a good smartphone or if you have a good laptop, you know, internet connections, because now you see what happened with just us being, you
Exactly.
know, in India and US. So that's why being in different geographical regions, it's
So
good to
like
have.
Wi-Fi is required.
Yes, I think that's very essential, because if there are breakups, you know, with the internet connections, then that's not, if technology is not favoring you, then it starts to get a little irritating sometimes. So,
Uh,
yeah.
so nice. You know, like as we discuss about it, grooming is one, but each and every one required. Be it a homemaker, be a beauty queen, be it a corporate employee, be it a medicos or being an engineer, whatever you are, grooming is must. And that's the reason we have been promoting personal grooming. You start progressing for yourself, and it's not for somebody else. Get groomed yourself, present yourself well, be confident. You will be capable of achieving anything, and that's what Reema is doing. So very soon, Reema's grooming class is gonna expand beyond the boundaries, and we are looking forward to it. So we might just be we just love to hear from you. What are the channels we can connect with you? What are the
Oh,
channels we can connect with you?
sure.
Yes.
So you can, of course, I have a Facebook page, so you can reach me on that. Reema Kanolkar is my Facebook page, or you can connect with me on Facebook, just my profile. Instagram, it's again Reema Kanolkar, or you can email me at rkanolkar.rk@gmail.com, and that is also listed on my Instagram. So yeah, you can
Oh,
reach me, and then if when we get connected and you want to go ahead with the sessions, then of course, you know, we can transition to WhatsApp, because sometimes off class people need help, and then I'm always there, as I said. So it doesn't always have to be class to class. So
all right, all right. That's so nice. So all the lovely people over here, this is a message. You can reach Reema through social networks, Facebook and Instagram with the handles Reema Kanolkar. All right. So get in touch, get groomed, achieve your goals. We are here to watch out the result so soon. Thank you so much, Reema, for joining here and providing so much of knowledge to people. Love you, love you, love you always. Thank you so much.
love you too, Shah. Thank you so much. And first of all, I know because of the technical difficulties, I want to congratulate you on all your endeavors that, you know, and
Thank
you're
you.
doing so much for the community, and, you know, actually empowering in the true sense. So a big shout out
Thank
to
you.
you. And thank you for doing this and bringing me on live. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think you got that out of me. So
Exactly.
All right. Thanks,
We need to
Shah.
connect, like once again, and like with the different topics, so people
Yes.
like listen to it and make their time productive and be positive.
Oh,
All right.
absolutely. I would love to come up with, yeah, and just let me know and we can come up with more topics. I have lots of interesting topics up my sleeve, so I'll be more
Exactly.
than happy to share my knowledge. Yes.
Thank you so
Okay.
much and enjoy a lovely day.
Thank
Bye
you. Good
bye.
night to you. Good night to you. Yeah. Thanks.